This is gonna be a good one. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Let's go. I'm gonna send it to my people too.
Let's do it.
Well, I don't have a Discord, but I'm sending it to whoever I know.
Let's do it. Where's my Discord? What should I call it? Hyped Happy Hour.
What the heck? Well, let me paste it. Hold on a second. What the heck is this? Copy link.
Excuse me. Cool. I think.
What is your hat?
It's this hotel in New York that I like to stay in sometimes.
Let's go. You absolutely
they
love
had the
it.
hat.
Dude.
I'm like, I need the hat. The hat's sick.
I love it. I got this message. This is totally off topic, but I got this message from someone and they were like, "Hey, are you using a blue Yeti microphone?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to step on your toes, but you need to point it straight up and down." Cause I had it angled for the last 46 episodes. And I was like, "Dude, definitely not stepping on any toes. I am so grateful that you even told me that because my sound is now amplified." So this is the first episode. Yeah. So we're riding. Let's go. Okay. So I'm going to play the theme song. We're going to get this thing rolling.
Do it.
The vibe going. Share screen.
We're riding. Hype happy hour. Hype happy hour. Talking about life, so you might feel empowered. Hype happy hour. Hype happy hour. Tornado on the mic with a guest giving flowers. Hype happy hour. Hype happy hour. Tools, interviews provide life tapping power. Hype happy hour. Hype happy hour. Positive and light with advice. Build your tower. Happiness is key, so you gotta bring the smiles out. Inspiration needs a bit of passion to just wild out. Positivity and optimism when we ride out. Enthusiasm and dreams, gotta feed them till your time's out.
Let's freaking go. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped right now. Listen, Hyped Happy Hour. I am Gentle Tornado. I am your host on this magical journey. I created a company called Live Hyped. Hyped is an acronym that stands for happiness, inspiration, positivity, enthusiasm, and dreams. And if you look at the bottom left, my logo is an H with a heartbeat in the middle because we never know how many heartbeats we have. So here at Hyped, I am on a mission to make every single moment count, make positivity louder, and just spread good freaking vibes. On episode 47, I am joined by an absolute legend, a humble dude, a creative dude, an amazing person. Vinny, how are you?
I'm doing lovely. Thank you so much for that great intro. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat and see what's up.
Let's go, dude. I'm so grateful to have you here. Listen, first off, I just have to tell you, I normally don't do this, but my boy that I met at VCon, Taylor, that I've become so close with, has your letter fucking Air Force Ones, my boy. And so they are so sick. And so I remember we were at VCon. I was like, dude, what is on your shoes? And we started talking about it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I just tell you that because those are so sick. And so I'm glad to have you on. Listen, we started off with what we are grateful for. So what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for waking up every day inspired to make artwork and create what's in my head. That's the first thing that came to my head that I'm grateful for right now. So
dude, I absolutely love it. And I love your backdrop. Like your backdrop is so sick.
Got my little exposed brick and some cardboard Pokemon, little prints, some other fun stuff over here.
Let's go. All right, so let's start it off straight away with an origin story. So give me who's Vinnie Hager? Tell me about growing up until
Sure.
now, up to how you got into art, all that.
Yeah, I think yeah, I was born and raised in Maryland. I'm currently in Baltimore right now. I grew up in the suburbs. I guess was all, my normal spiel is that I was a very artistic kid. I like to draw on the driveway with chalk and do coloring books and look at art books and scribble and finger paint and do all those kind of fun creative things that a little kid would do, and ride his bike around, adventure in the woods, and just like do all these kind of like random little kid things. And yeah, so I always kind of had these kind of art genes in me. And it probably wasn't until maybe middle school that I kind of recognized that I was drawing a lot. Like, it was always taking art classes. I was always close with like the art teachers in elementary school, middle school, and middle school hit, and I like couldn't pay attention in class like maybe most kids would, and I just started like doodling all over my papers and the borders of my handouts and things like this, and drawing during lunch and what have you. And I kind of found myself, as I'm doing it like now, talking
Yeah.
and scribbling.
Yes.
But one, I'd like find it helpful. I could draw and scribble, and it would help me listen and pay attention in class. And then one day I was like, well, I had this little like Michael's, the craft store, canvas from there, one of those blank little, and I was like, let me do what I do in class, but like on this canvas. And it was kind of these shapes and symbols and little like pyramids, and I don't know, I would just like really, I would just naturally gravitate towards that style. And I think it probably came from like a love of graffiti. Like, I was always looking at like what was around me, and kind of the essence of putting your mark on everything, sort of. And I started just to draw so much in my middle school years, and obviously into high school, and just kept doing it, and people had a interesting response to it. It's like, oh, like, I'll buy that. How much? I was like, oh, $25. Here's yeah, sure, I'll do a canvas for $25. And at that time I was skateboarding a lot. Maybe my first love was art and skateboarding, those two kind of creative outlets, and those two things kind of led me to where I am now. Yeah, I don't know how in depth you want me to go, but
Yeah, no, I'm literally loving this. So tell me how did you get into Web3? Tell me about that journey. Or like, when did your art like really start did it catch on before you got into Web3? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was like mostly on Instagram before Twitter. And yeah, I was doing like clothing and little murals, and selling my artwork through Instagram and kind of word of mouth. I worked at this local skate shop in Annapolis, Maryland, called Pure Board Shop. So I'd sell T-shirts through there and talk about my artwork and do little pop-ups and things like that there. And so yeah, I was making like decent extra side money and to kind of pay my bills and help me pay through art college through my artwork. And so I was like, oh, this is really great. But at the same time, I was always in search of new mediums. So I remember buying like an iPad, and I was like, okay, I've never drawn on a screen before. And it like sat on a shelf for a while. Or I want to learn Blender. I want to learn how to do 3D stuff. And I couldn't do it. I don't get computer. I don't get, I wanted to do graphic design in college. I was like, I never use a computer. Why am I doing graphic design? But I always had that kind of inkling to like, okay, I would draw my little shapes and symbols on a canvas and paper, and do a mural, paint jeans and paint hats, and just interested in all these different mediums. So I had a close friend that was, he would tell me about like crypto kitties in like 2017. And I was like, why are you buying digital cats? I didn't get it. And then I guess fast forward maybe early 2020, before the pandemic, a few months, I was doing, I was airbrushing like carpets and rugs, and doing these things. And somebody had purchased one on my little online store, and I went and delivered it to him. He was local, and he goes, hey, have you ever heard of Decentraland, or these things called whales, or like NFTs? I was like, kind of, but not really. And he's like, I think you could do so much in this space. And it's just this guy that like purchased, and I was like, whoa. And after that, I went home, and at the same time I was getting on Twitter, and I saw other art. I follow like Fewocious, Jonathan Wolf, all these other artists, and I was like, oh, they're talking about that thing, those NFT things.
Yeah.
And that kind of just spawned me into the rabbit hole of just being on Twitter all day, picking up the iPad again and seeing what I could do, and just kind of translating my artwork again to a different medium, which was just doing it digitally. And being in the trenches of Twitter all day long and just learning and seeing what people were up to and reading and going through media tabs and like tabs and just seeing what it was all about. And I guess the rest is history, or we're history's continuing as we speak.
Yeah, dude. So like yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I think it's amazing that you've really just been on this kind of grind, but like it's such a true grind to like it's you and you've loved it, and to where like people wanted to buy your artwork. You never really like shilled your artwork. People just saw it, they loved it, and then you started doing it for them, and then it evolved, and then it evolved into someone that bought something that then referred you, and then you saw other artists. Like that's such a beautiful journey to then get to where you're now. Like what has it been like to be able to sell your art in the Web3 space? Like how would you describe that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one, it's like a beautiful thing. It does come with like hard work and dedication and time, and like a lot of people either think it's really easy or they know how maybe hard it is. And I think I like to kind of think in the middle. Like I would be making artwork that I'm making, like, sitting here drawing anyway. I'd be drawing and creating, and my mind would be going on with these ideas if I posted it on Twitter or Instagram or on the internet. Not. So I think in my case, it just naturally led me to share it online, have people interested in it to some degree, and just have that grow. And then that kind of reinforcement to keep doing it and keep expanding and seeing kind of how far it would go. So, I mean, every day it kind of blows my mind to kind of think about even just last year, 2022 was, I traveled every month to do different conferences or speaking things or partnerships. And it all just came from this natural progression of my artwork and meeting new people and new friends on the internet and meeting collectors and just like this whole world that, I talked to some of my maybe like childhood friends that I would skateboard with or whoever. And they were like, dude, I don't get what you're doing. I want to learn, but like keep doing it. And
yeah,
it's a weird little world to be in because it is kind of, everybody's like, oh, it's an echo chamber of like a few tens of thousands of people like that. So it's interesting to like take a step back and be like, wow, like, yeah, it's like a rare thing, but it's also like really inspiring in different ways. And I could keep going on about it, but it's a weird and beautiful thing at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think it is right. What you said is beautiful. And like the journey continues, right? And you keep explaining it to people. And if, as long as people are happy, I think that's great for you. Let me ask you this, like, what has it been like to draw on an iPad? Like, do you prefer pencil and paper? Do you prefer now iPad? Like, how does that work? Because I've drawn on the iPad and I do enjoy it actually, but I think just, pencil and paper is legit. It's just the best.
I think my favorite material ever are these like Deco paint markers. It just has like a broad little tip, and something about it, I'll always love this marker. It can draw on clothes, canvases, whatever. But drawing on the iPad so much and kind of like dialing down the little brushes, and you can do so much. And I teeter back and forth with which one I enjoy most. I've been working on these two paintings in my studio, and I go, oh, it's just not the same as the iPad. And I'm like, oh no, I started to think like this, like the iPad is better. But I like to go back and forth, and of course experiment with. I mean, there's, I go into an art store and I'm doomed because there's so many things I want to try out and try. But then also there's like 1,000 different iPad apps that can do different things. And I just got a new Oculus, the new Meta. And I'm like, oh, there's so many things you could do and make in there. So I think I'm definitely inspired by the different mediums or tools to use. But I don't think anything beats a marker and like a white piece of paper. So I'm going to try to stand by that. But definitely double down in digital too. So
yeah, no, absolutely love that. Are you having people reach out to you to do like maybe big canvases? Like, are you doing big canvas art for specific like clients? I would say.
Yeah, I'm working on 2 paintings right now. I won't say what for, but if all goes well, it'll be very exciting news. It'll be a big resume check off for me. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I've had some recent. I actually did another 2 paintings for. It was two commissioned paintings for this guy down in North Carolina. So I drove them down to him a couple weeks ago, and there was that. And then I've been working with. Some different development companies in Baltimore. So we're doing like some architecture things in one part of town, and then the other part of town we're talking about public art and sculptures and this. So just to kind of see, live in obviously the physical world, but then the digital world, and live in people's closets, live in a gallery, a digital wallet. I think I'm really attracted to those, like permeating into these different like arenas almost. So yeah, it's interesting.
Dude, I love it. You're literally everywhere. You're literally everywhere. I can fucking talk to you.
Trying.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love it. I'm so excited to get into this. Listen, what we do on this show is we get just personal, amazing people in the Web3 space, and we get the personal life, and we just mash it all together. So we get to know the people behind the personality. So I'm really excited to have you on. We start going word by word within Hyped. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to read you my favorite definition of success. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's success: to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the beauty in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know that one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded.
Ooh, that's a good one.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's spot on. I remember like being like a teenager, and all those kind of like those little like sayings or phrases like "be strong, live another day," and like "you can do this," and like that. That's so cheesy, like that. But now, like in my mid-20s, I'm like, those kind of cliches are like these quotes are like quoted for a reason. And I think sometimes they're just so spot on that you're like, actually, that gave me some really good motivation just to like get up. I'll watch some of those like watch this every day and you'll be motivated. You'll make $1 million, and you do like those YouTube videos. And sometimes in the morning, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna go on a walk, and then I'm gonna get to work. And like, kind of the same sentiment with that. It's like to live a fulfilled life is to like do what you love and then put it out in the world and hope that if there are critics, you're open and honest, and you get their feedback for whatever it is, and you try to obviously respect people, respect their thoughts and their feelings, and you take it all as a grain of salt and just try to do your best every day. And like I was saying, they're cliches because they're cliches, but they're kind of spot on. And I've learned to love them and to cherish them and try to maybe even abide by them because they're important, and it definitely can get you through the day or inspire you in different ways.
Yeah, dude, no, for real. I absolutely love that. And I think the thing that I've been telling people with positivity is like, yeah, positivity is cliche, but there is proven studies. I'm reading this book on happiness, and there are so many studies in this book about how much positivity and happiness affects your mental health, everything in your life. And so it's like, yeah, it's cheesy, but there are facts that this stuff really does level you up. And so to your point, like, yeah, we did grow up, and like even me, right? Like you hear that and you'd be like, what? Like, oh no way.
Right.
Then
Yeah,
you live
sure.
it and you're like, holy shit, like this stuff actually does work. And when you wake up and you're motivated and you get out there and you're like, I'm gonna fucking crush today.
Yeah,
So,
there was one thing, I don't know where I heard it, but it's like if you just literally smile, your brain like triggers something. And I'm like, okay, like whenever I'm feeling like an inkling of weirdness, I just try to smile. And like,
yeah.
or like the other thing, if you like visualize something over and over in your head, it's like bound to happen if you like train your head to think in these ways. And that's what I've been trying to do all along. And then I'm like, whoa, like then the world sends you like a weird thing. I'm like, I was just thinking about like a goal in mind or something, and then I get an email, and I'm like, there's no. It's like that weird, positive, happy self-thought, and it just like sounds cliche and weird, and like, or what's the other thing? when you're trying to get something to happen, you're
manifesting.
manifest.
Yeah.
another
No.
another weird one to talk about, but like also very true. Like, you know, you think about
Yeah.
something enough and you kind of plan it out and you work towards goals. Like those things are tend to happen, and hopefully you're happy along the way.
Yeah, no, you're literally preaching everything that I talk about on this podcast. So I love it. Listen, first question under happiness is, what makes you happy every single day?
Go waking up and drawing.
Yeah.
What, making
Fucking-
artwork, talking to good friends. My grandma, she makes me happy. All the above.
I love it. Listen, what is the happiest moment of your life so far?
I don't think it's happened yet.
No?
Happiest moment of my life.
Or a few moments that maybe were like that made you so happy.
I don't know why I'm like okay, maybe pursuing art full time after I quit working at the skate shop that I mentioned earlier. That was probably like a chapter in my life that I closed that like made me happy. Probably, since we're talking Web3, my Genesis collection letters, that's selling out 2021. That was probably a very happy moment. Making my grandma proud, another happy moment. Things like that. I don't know the happiest. I've never really thought about that. I do think it has yet to happen though. Like,
Yeah.
somebody would be like, if I got married, that was probably the birth of my child. Something like that.
Yeah.
So.
No, I like it. I like it. As you know, my last question under happiness is maybe some Web3 communities that you're involved in, or just some, you know, maybe art pieces that you've collected that you really enjoy, or, you know, what is that like? I've never had an artist on the show thus far. So like, what is it like to be an artist? Like, I'm sure you collect art or you enjoy pieces a certain way. Like, can you talk about that a little bit and how, you know, how that makes you feel?
Sure. Yeah, I think recently with the kind of open edition meta, I've been like buying a lot more artwork than I normally would have, because one, a lot of my friends in the space are doing them and experimenting with them. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna grab a couple and take it how it is. I guess some of the ones that are on top of my head, well, Danny Cole, Creature World, he did his Crowd open edition today, and I like right away bought a few. Been in the Discord all day and just like artist on artist kind of fun things is what I'm all about. Or Cool Cats was one of my first projects that I got into, and probably at the time I spent 2 ETH on my cat, you know, over a year and a half ago now, and that was the most money I'd spent on anything in my entire life, and it like radically changed my life, because I met Klon, I met a ton of supportive community that then came over to my letters community and in my artwork. I met one of my greatest friends and my manager, Toby Lasso, met him through there. So that spawned a whole nother thing. And so I owe a lot to like Cool Cats. And then of course, just a ton of artist friends that I've met through the space, and watching everybody's trajectory go in different ways and see what they're creating is always so inspiring. So yeah, I could go on a lot of different tangents on that one, but yeah, a lot of positivity and inspiring things come from, for me, being an artist, collecting other artists, vice versa. And then, you know, behind the scenes, picking up the phone or text message and just talking about ideas and like, oh, can't wait to see you here or in LA or this convention. Like, let's draw, let's hang out.
Yeah.
And all from meeting on the internet, Twitter, or like buying an NFT and then connecting over that.
Absolutely, dude. I love it. Do you have a specific art piece, maybe not in Web3, that you own that you just like cherish?
Right now, it would be, there's this artist, Neckface. He was a graffiti artist, skateboarder, and like randomly on his Instagram, like 2 or 3 years ago, he's like selling drawings on my Instagram, and I just bought one, and it's hanging up in my kitchen. And that was the first thing that came to my mind of artwork that I cherish physically. But in my digital wallet, it would have to be my first Cool Cat. And what else is in my wallet? I'm trying to think off the top while also typing on OpenSea to see what I have. But I have to get back to you on that one, maybe. But yeah, I have a lot of like friends' artwork, physical and digital, that I've collected. And I'm just scrolling now, trying to look for a few. But
I feel like the vibe, like getting together with other artists, must just be incredible to like bounce ideas off each other and then draw. Like that's just got to be so fucking sweet, dude.
yeah, I remember there was the first unofficial Cool Cats meetup in LA, like a year and a half ago or something, and it was the first time I flew out to LA and stayed with Toby, this guy I met on the internet. So we had talked a bunch. We were like, oh, what are we doing? And him and me, we went to this first unofficial Cool Cats meetup, and at that time I didn't really know Klon too much, but we all were just kind of sat down at this picnic table drawing, and I remember Klon like looking up and like seeing what I was drawing. He goes, "Oh, Vinny," and I was like, "Hey, Klon," like, "Hey." And then after that was our thing. Every time we were together, we just kind of sit down and draw, and people would maybe congregate and look and be like, "Oh, they're drawing, it's super cool." And I don't know, those connections and those memories will always stand out to me, and it all kind of spawns from meeting on Twitter, talking about these digital JPEGs that we spend money on, and like just seeing where it goes radically has changed my life in the best way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Are you going to all the, like, are you going to NYC? Are you going to LA? Are you going to VCon?
I'll be at VCon, trying to plan something for VCon, maybe like an activation or like a live mural or something fun, because last year I was really inspired, saw everybody else's kind of booths and activations and things. So been talking about that, and I got a little sticky note with all like the dates and stuff. LA this month, I'm going to try to go there, New York, of course, and then hopefully go to some different ones like NFT. There's like Brazil or something, a crazy offshoot one that I don't know what's going on there, but I want to go.
Yes, that would be sick. Oh man, I bet that would be crazy. I didn't even know Brazil. When did that get announced?
I don't know. I met somebody over Art Basel, and they were like, "You have to come to NFT Brazil. I helped do this and do that." I was like, I've yet to. I can't find their DM, but I want to hit them back up and be like, "Can we do?" They were showing me like art projected on all these ruins in Brazil and stuff. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I would love to do that if that's a thing.
Yes.
Or NFT Lisbon, I think, is another one I've heard thrown around. I'm like, that would be cool too. So, I mean, it is March. The year is going by a little quick, but trying to plan out the rest of the year and plan out certain trips, conferences, projects, partnerships, the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm excited.
That's sick. Yeah, I think conference season's about to get wild. Like it just starts going, right? Like I can't even believe we're in March.
Paris. I was supposed to be in Paris, but I stayed back in Maryland and got a few other pending things done. But I had a lot of Paris FOMO, so I'm trying not to miss the other ones.
No, I love it. Listen, under inspiration now, and I just had to say, like, dude, just hearing your story, you inspire me. And just your journey is so beautiful so far. I can't wait to keep going. The first question under inspiration is, what is one lesson in your life that you've had to learn the hard way?
Maybe first one that comes to my mind would be like, don't take everything for granted, because like sometimes things can happen in a blink of an eye and your life can be flipped up top, and like you don't know that. So like, try to make the most out of your time, your moments, your memories, and like stay healthy and keep on trucking. I think that would be the one. Don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. And I feel like generally just you sound like a super, super grateful person. Like you're super grounded in gratitude. And I think that's like, it's so important, man. It's so important.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I think, it's all built on like, well, I guess for me, it's just built on artwork and creating artwork. And that's one, like, I remember being in art college. I went to Maryland Institute College of Art here in Baltimore, where I am now. And the whole kind of sentiment that I was around was that it's incredibly hard to be an artist. Once you graduate, you're going to end up working a regular job. It's going to be so hard to sell your artwork. And at that time, I was already kind of selling clothes and stuff to like, get a savings and like, pay my bills and things like that. And then on the back end was working on NFTs, and everybody was either clowning on NFTs or this and that. And I graduated over the pandemic, so everybody had to kind of like get out of the studios and stuff at my art school. And I just remember kids like throwing their artwork away. Everybody was down in the dumps. And I just like saw that turn and like how different people were reacting to everything. And I was just like, dude, I don't know. To me, I was like, I'll cherish all my artwork. I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to do it no matter what anybody tells me. And then I'm going to get my college to invite me back, and I'm going to do a talk and be like, this is, you can break the rules. And there's no clear way to go about things. And to me, that was kind of inspiring in a weird way, just to be like, if you want to be an artist or, insert whatever you want to be, there's a game plan and goals that you can do and to try to navigate it. So that kind of keeps me going too. Like there's no goals that I can set that I don't think I couldn't do, which inspires me every day as well.
Yeah, I fucking love that. Have you gone back to speak at your college?
No, but I was just talking to my old professor who I keep in touch with from time to time. And he's like, hey, we got to catch up. I've seen you do all this stuff this past year. He's like curious how I've been doing it. So not yet, but I'd hope so. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be fucking awesome, dude. Do you have someone in your life that's been like an inspirational leader, or someone you've looked up to throughout your life, or someone that's, maybe helped you mold who you are today?
I mean, first one that comes to my head would be my grandma. She's my closest relative. She's her and me are two peas in a pod. And she's like this little old 94-year-old Catholic grandmother, still kicking, still does yard work. We run errands together, but, just sitting down with her, and then, she like grounds me in a good way, be thankful, be careful with this, be careful with that, make sure these people are good, be safe in your travels. All the kind of distilling all of these, obviously very good morals and good life decisions and emotions, and treating people with respect and all that. So, I hand it off to my grandmother a lot, and I know she'll never hear this, but I'll tell her that I gave her good graces. So I think she'd love that. So yeah, definitely her.
Dude, that's incredible. I grew up very close to my grandparents. Did you go over there all the time? What was your childhood like with your grandma?
Yeah, me and my dad moved in with my grandma probably maybe like 15 years ago or something. She's getting a little older. We wanted to go fix up the house and just help her out. And so I lived there for a while, and then I moved to Baltimore for a little bit, but I'd still go back to my grandma's all the time. Moved back in with her for a few months when I did my whole letters collection. I worked at her house the whole time, and recently just moved out again like 9 months ago maybe. And but I still go over there, once or twice a week and call her all the time. So
let's go. I love it, dude. How far is she?
30 minutes.
Oh, dude, it's epic.
Yeah,
That's epic.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's easy,
Let's go. I love it. Oh man, that just makes me happy. What inspires you about Web3 to want to do it every day?
I think one, it's like this constant feed of something going on that I'm like, is it an artist is doing something, a brand is doing something, there's a new game out, there's a new drop mechanism, there's a new way to make art, there's a new way to release art, there's a new way to view art, there's either drama, there's Twitter Spaces, so you have this instant, real and communication to people. And I just think it's like for my mind that's running with ideas and so much stuff all the time, it's great to go there and then get like triply, if that's a word, inspired by the drop of the day, the one of the day, a high sale, a sick mint out, this different project that's doing something different. And then I just kind of view that instantly of how like, I could see my artwork in that, how that was approached. So then that inspires me to edit that and then to do it in my own way. And it's just interesting all around. And then it's just like, people say it, we're still early, but we are like super early to some extent. So kind of getting in it now in the weeds and just kind of putting your stamp on things from the get-go is also inspiring. And making my closest friends in the space. And I'm like, there's got to be other people like us out there that are doing the same stuff. So like, finding them, and there's a bunch of those kind of touchstones that are really inspiring.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I think the coolest thing about this space is I've never been able to get this close with people like this fast, to where like you're just such on the same wavelength, like to where, right, this is my 47th episode, and I would say 43 of them have been fucking amazing because it's just like the same wavelength, talking about the same good shit, being on the same vibe, and it's like absolutely incredible. Like I've never experienced, I've never been able to connect with people on my brand personally and just see other people win, like, to see you win, to see Con win, to see anybody win in the space, these open editions, like that is just, there's more percentage that are like want to support people, want people to win than there are that are dragging people down. And I think that's such a beautiful thing that has been not in our world for a while. And so like it's such a rare opportunity to like be a part of that. Like every single day is like, holy fuck.
And I also think it's like, I've heard people who like get in their 30s, mid 30s, etc. It's like, they're either with the same friend group and the same, they're in a relationship, and they have this like one friend group, and they're kind of in it until whatever, 75, etc. They're like, it's like hard to make friends outside of what they do. And they might like, go to a bar, but they're not like going out to like meet people when they're 35 or 40 per se. And to me, I'm in my mid 20s, but it's like I'm constantly meeting new people that I'm like actually interested in what they're doing and like want to get on a call and just like talk for no reason, where I couldn't really name something else right now that you could almost do that. And, even in the traditional art world, you go to a gallery and sure, you kind of like jibber jabber to the people, drink the free wine and like eat. And then you kind of go on with your day. You don't like, like, hey, I'm going to text you tomorrow so we can continue the conversation, or that's how I see it, at least, in these different ways. Like, and I think for my background, even like skateboarding, like, I was a young teenager kid, but I would hang out with like, younger kids that skateboarded and then like way older people that skateboarded, but we were just there doing the same thing. And that's how, I built a friend group. So I think it's lucky that we're in the space and we can connect with people from, whether it's a Twitter space host to an artist to somebody that does a podcast to somebody that writes threads to somebody that does XYZ in the space. And we all kind of have the same understanding and can get along and get inspired by each other.
Dude, 100%. And I've had probably, I don't know, 15, 20 calls. I always put it out there that I'm willing to call anybody. And every single call has just been incredible. Every single call. I'm just like, this is wild. We could talk for hours. And that's
Right.
kind of like to your point, you were saying, like, continue the conversation where it's like, you can't find that. I don't know anywhere. I have never experienced anything like that. Like
I couldn't name, I can't name. I'm sure somebody out there would be like, well, I've done this. And I'm looking at all my friends do, adult baseball or something. Right? Cool. I don't know.
Softball or something. Yeah.
No. Sure there's other things, but off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
I feel like this is the best. So, what is your favorite inspirational movie?
Not a big movie or TV guy, to be honest. My favorite movie is Night at the Roxbury, if you know that movie.
Stop. Are you 100% serious right now?
Yes.
My favorite movie is Night at the Roxbury. I never have had anybody, Vinny, ever in my life say that their favorite movie was Night at the Roxbury.
Cult classic, some would say.
That clip's going viral. I don't even.
Soundtrack, outfits, era. Can't beat it. I haven't watched it in a while, but I need to get it on DVD or something.
It's so good. I'm going to be honest with you, right? I have 3 small boys. They're, 4 and under, and I am waiting today that I can show them that movie. Like it's been a goal of mine. I cannot believe that you said that.
And I don't know why. I had it on VHS when I was like 12 or 14 or maybe 14. And I was just like, this is something about it. The music, that era, I was sold.
Dude, that's so fucking awesome. Oh man, that would have. Oh geez, that was incredible. That was incredible. All right, wow. All right, we're moving to positivity. So, I'm literally in shock. I cannot wait to tell my wife. My wife is not gonna believe it. She's gonna be like, "No fucking way."
Show her the clip.
Oh, I'm so fucking happy right now. Um, okay, so I've been pushing P. I push P every single day. I
Yes.
love positivity. Um, and so what we talk about is pretty simple on this segment. It's just about positive mindset. So positive mindset, the basic definition is to focus on the good in any situation. Now that doesn't mean that we're delusional, right? The world is hard
Toxic
sometimes. Yeah.
positivity.
Yeah, but it means that you can always focus on the goods. And so can you tell me about positivity in your life and how that's helped you and kind of just about your positive mindset that you carry throughout your day?
Yeah, I mean, um, kind of touched on it earlier. I won't go too personal, but had some close family members pass away in my life, and has led me to kind of double down on being alone and creating artwork and just doing the things that I would do, and doubling down on those positive things that I saw in my life, and expanding on those to kind of one, fill my time, fill my mind, etc. So having something that I love no matter what, artwork, kept me going through the tough times. But then once I'd realized, like, oh, okay, little goals for myself, those goals kept me on track doing this. Oh, I'm gonna, show artwork in this like little local gallery. I'm gonna travel here. I'm gonna do this NFT thing. I'm gonna do this, do that. And then from those spawn other goals, etc. So, like waking up every day and having my little to-do list, writing things out the night before. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I got to do this today, this email, this meeting, whatever it is that day. One keeps my mind fresh, active, and then just like getting to it is just super inspiring. I don't know where I have this kind of positive, fairly super positive mindset, I would say, that it's just like get up and go, like anything is kind of possible. Sit down, get it done, no matter what, if that's what you want to do. And for me, yeah, it was all just like goal based around art stuff, and it just would keep going and keep going. And some of the bigger goals that I had in mind and ideas are starting to come to fruition, and I'm like, okay, what's next? Like, let's go. And those kind of inflate the positivity in my eyes, and that has like truly kept me going. And then, like we're just talking about, finding other positive people that want to do positive things and uplift each other in different ways has been the secret sauce, the recipe to I guess my success in some ways.
Dude, absolutely love it. What sounds like, it doesn't feel like, it sounds like you have some really healthy habits that you've just created around that to that you do maybe every day or every single week with your goal setting. I mean, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, it seems like you're pretty like on track with shit you're doing, which is motivating for sure.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it before in other Twitter Spaces, calls, podcasts, things like that. But I think I have the opposite of artist block. It's like overly like I want to do this. Oh no, there's this. So then I have to kind of refocus my mind, and sometimes I'll get off a little on track or a little off track and kind of deviate from that and kind of do nothing and waste a little bit of time. But other than that, mostly like workaholic and like I have this. I'm like very straight lined. Do it by any means necessary almost. And we're talking about artwork here. It's nothing like mind crazy. But yeah, I think it just came super natural to me, is like, if you want to do something, like you figure out the ways to do it, you set the goal, start off a little small. But then I also heard somewhere it's like, if you have a big goal and you have a small goal, it's going to take the same amount of time and effort to do both goals. Just go to the big goal. So I've kind of taken that into mind, and yeah, I don't recall the exact first question here.
But like I think the micro goals, right? Like you have this big dream or like a dream, for example, and you have these mini goals that'll get you to that dream, and then you get close to that dream, and it's like, okay, let's do another dream. Like we're gonna get this dream. Let's go even bigger, right? And so I think the power that you're talking about is so incredible. For the longest time, I tell people like I'm gonna retire at 35. Like that's my goal. My goal is to retire at 35. Not so I can just like go shit money, but so I can just do whatever I want. And that's just, I've said that since I was 18 years old, and I just keep saying it. I keep telling everybody, I don't care who the fuck you are. Yeah. And I'm just going to keep telling everybody, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. And it's like, listen, I don't care, because you're going to go tell your mom, and then your mom's going to tell her friend that this guy, Gentle Tornado, is going to be retire at 35. And it's like, that's the type of stuff is like you like you said earlier, you speak it into existence, but you also have the actions that follow. And
Which
then
is another
know,
cliche, speaking it
yeah.
into existence. And like, yeah, I'm on the same thing. Like, just you say it enough times, and then you're like, whoa, you blink, and it's like it just literally became reality. And all those other cliche YouTube videos tell you the same thing, and like, well, it's true. Sometimes it works.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It works.
I love it. I love it. All right, enthusiasm. This is I don't know what happened there. Enthusiasm is my jam as well. I'm pumped every day. I run through walls. This is probably honestly one of my favorite questions to ask on the podcast. What are 3 things right now that you can't get enough of? 3 things that you're obsessed with?
Painting. Obsessed with painting, buying art books that I never look at, and going on long walks without my phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let's tackle the paintings books that you don't open. Is that just like a statement piece in your house or what?
Yeah, I like a lot of books. I just got this new coffee table downstairs, long wooden table, just filled with books. You couldn't put a coaster on it. I just buy books, all like either like inspiring kind of fun self-help books that teach you about money, art books, big coffee table, but like all the kind of gambit of books. I'm like, I'm gonna read them. Most of the art books I'll look through from time to time. I'll sit down and just like flip through them. But a lot of I'm like, I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna never read them, but I've been starting to.
You should post it. You gotta post it. You gotta post a photo of your coffee table. You have to like check my coffee table out because this is my coffee.
Ton of gems.
I love it. And then what did you say the third thing was? Oh, long walks without your phone.
Long walks without my phone. Yeah,
dude. I mean, that sounds amazing.
Did one a little earlier today. Just did do like an hour walk and just look around. And that's another, doing these walks, no phone. I'm like, goals, that I have to do this tomorrow. I'm going to sneak it in tonight. I'm going to try to do this. I have to do this. Kind of like recalibrates my brain and gets off the Bird app and those kind of things and gets a little exercise and you feel a bit better. So
I love that, man. I'm reading a book right now. I'm actually almost done with it. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And it's so amazing. Like it's actually like mind blowing. Just like slowing down, breathing, being in the moment.
Wait, don't tell me I'm going to go buy it.
No, it's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Dude, it is like, it's like I'm an audiobook guy. I don't read. But it's like I'm almost done in like 2 days. And it's amazing. Like it really makes you refocus things like going on a long walk or, instead of going on TikTok for 20 minutes, like doing something for 20 minutes, it's actually going to impact, right? Like spending time with my kids, reading them 2 books or like an example for me is like praying for people, right? Like, and so like, it's just so powerful to actually be in the moment. And I think, in a world, especially in Web3, where we're like, got to trade, got to do this, got to flip this, got to, yeah. And so it's like, no, I'm going to take time to do this, right? Do this for my wife or, whatever. It could be anything. And so I think it's been really powerful, honestly, to read. And I think, it just resonated that you said you took that walk and like really being with nature and your own mind and, your soul almost like that's like healthy for your soul to be in that moment and to go on that walk. And so I just thought that was fucking beautiful.
Yeah. I had a couple of thoughts on that, but I guess the last one I thought, it was me and my girlfriend were in New York over Valentine's Day. And we were like, everybody that walks by, sad, no smile. Everybody has headphones in. Everybody's on their phone. Sure, maybe they're busy, business people. Walking around, getting to where they have to go. But I was like, this dull. And I'm not saying this is all of New York. I'm talking about like a strip of where we walked for a few minutes. I just happened to notice that everybody looked sad, upset, maybe unfulfilled. And sure, I'm just like projecting a little, just what I saw in these instances, but. To me, try to find, I have a lot of excitement and a lot of busyness as most people do in their day-to-day lives. So for me, like going on these little walks on the purpose of going on a walk with nothing else to do except an hour by myself, look around, try to do the fake smile to get my brain neurons to
Yeah.
fire off, and like look around and like take a different alleyway or go somewhere different. And like, I don't know. I think it's all kind of like these little positive things that you can do. Or I try to like keyword try, like in the mornings, wait like an hour to look at my phone. Twitter is always the last app to look at too. I go to email first, then Discord. After an hour, I wake up, and then Twitter. But yeah, little things throughout the day I try to like keep in mind. And sure, I don't have the best routine or eating or schedule, or sure I stay out late or go to too many bars here and there. But try to do the best where you can.
Yeah, you're working on it. I love it. I love it. You have good intention.
That's all that matters.
What has been the most exciting moment in Web3 for you?
Most exciting, meeting all the people that I either looked up to, learned from, am inspired by, and then meeting, either in real life or having other conversations, and then blossoming friendships through that. It's like what they say, the people you meet along the way.
Yeah. Was it like a conference? Was it like your first NYC conference, or was it just like that LA meetup you were talking about, or was it a conference, for example?
All the different ones. They've all accumulated into meeting certain different people that, I've either talked to online or been inspired by and got to meet. And, like I could name from each conference or each meetup or each, whatever, I could probably name these certain instances of so-and-so here, this person there, and how it's all kind of culminated into, I'd hope, a larger friend group of mine that I can reach out to and chat with about numerous different things. Sometimes just life, and you just talk about like, oh, you went to that new coffee store, or you did this or you did that, and those things are great. And then of course, like expanding my artwork and being able to live as an artist and experimenting in new mediums, and that all comes. But I think if all this were to go away, money, crypto, Twitter as a whole, I'd have like a group of like 20, 25 people that I could still pick up the phone and be like, hey, we don't have anything to do. Would you like to go on vacation and like hang out, and we could talk for forever and do those kind of things. So yeah, I think there's a lot of positives in that route.
No, that's beautiful. What was your favorite conference? Like so far, have you had a favorite conference where you were like, oh, this was the best one?
I mean, they're all so good. But I think strictly speaking, the conference, it'd have to be VCon. VCon blew a lot of the other ones out of the water for many different reasons. So another reason I'm excited for this year's.
Did you speak there?
I did. Yeah. But it was just, everybody was just in one place. There's no really side events. And if there are, there's like 3. But in New York, even though there's just 1,000 things to do, everybody's scattered. Everybody's got something else to do. Everybody's just running around. Art Basel this year, me and Toby had our schedule jam-packed from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. the next day. 24 hours of, and sure, it's like fulfilling and great. You don't get to see everybody. You don't get to do everything. There's things are still missing. But I think as a conference, VCon.
Yeah. And I think the best thing about VCon, as far as last year, obviously this is the first year, but like that being tight, right? Like we were all in one location, and it was like, it really, like, the energy was just crazy. And now I think this year is going to be unreal, because now we all have, like, we might have had connections last year, but like now I know you, right? Now I know, I don't even know what it's going to be like. It's going to be like sensory overload with the fucking vibe, like the vibe that we're going to have.
Very excited.
Yeah, let's fucking go. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to Dreams. Okay.
Do it.
This is my jam. I clicked the thing again. So this is a 1 question part. And when you're going to crush this. I already know it. When I first started the podcast, I was like, fuck, I don't know if people are going to be able to do this question. It's pretty intimidating. Everybody's crushed it because they do it straight from their heart. So what I'm going to ask you is, what is the dream that you have for your life? And I'm going to tell you my dream first. And then you're going to tell me your dream from your heart. Okay. So I'm Gentle Tornado. I am an honest, enthusiastic, and successful man that will inspire others to live their life through happiness.
My turn.
Yeah.
Oh, um, I want to continue creating the artwork that I'd like to create for the rest of my life. I hope I live until 85, 95 plus. It would be lovely to revert all the way back and learn how to oil paint out in the open in the south of Italy, and just paint with a family, and to live frivolously, and just to continue the love of art, while teaching others and showing them how I may have succeeded in different ways, and just be happy with what I'm doing, what I have when the time comes. But ultimately, I think my life is set in the arts and creating artwork. So, in all things positive, I hope my life continues to revolve around that, and I know it will. So, I think that's where I'm at.
That was unreal. That was amazing. Like, listen, I'm about to blow your mind. I'm gonna read you my favorite poem. Okay, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's called The Dash. Okay, it's by Linda Ellis. It says, I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her casket from beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that's spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For what is true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel. And be less quick to anger and show appreciation more and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash?
Ugh, I would have a little tear coming out now. Oh man. I mean, I think it's spot on. I've thought about, whenever my time comes, I don't get to thinking about my mortality that often, but I go, I don't want to wake up when I'm 75, 85, 90, whatever, and be like, well, why didn't I try all these things? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I travel to like this random offshoot convention in Brazil? Like, why didn't I try? If I was able to do it and it made sense in that time, like I would like to try as many things in the arts and especially in life, and as much as you can, so I don't waste my dash away. Where I'm scared that some other people, whether close to me or not, they just kind of wisp along in life and they don't find those like true passions or true meanings or love for their work or their craft, and things like that. So I take that to heart. I wrote down the name of the poem because I'm going to read it again afterwards. But yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, I definitely don't want to wither away on TikTok or my 9 to 5 per se, and just want to try to make the most of it. And whether it's talking to lovely people like tonight and going on my walk, or going to my studio alone in the quiet and just painting, just trying to be fulfilled by whatever it is. So that's where I'm at.
Dude, absolutely love it. And I could say that right now you're living your fucking dash, and I love it. That's how I feel. I feel the same way, dude. Like, I ain't gonna be 75 and saying I didn't go for it. And we're fucking out here riding. Like, you are the definition of riding. You're living your dash. I'm so fucking bullish on Vinnie Hager right
Living
now.
your dash. We
Yes,
gotta
dude.
make that click on.
Yes. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, listen, how we end the show is that you get to leave the audience with one final statement. It could be anything. And then a final question.
I would say, especially if you're an artist who may be watching, or somebody that wants to pursue something in a creative field, that there's like plenty of resources, plenty of steps, plenty of things that you can go towards that can guide you to like live this kind of life that you might not be doing currently. Like, I have other artist friends that, haven't found the success per se that they want to do. And I just know there's so many things out there that you can do if you take the time, truly take the time, sit down, plan it out. You have a love for whatever you're doing, that any of the goals or mindsets or what have you are achievable if you really want it. And that's like another cliche thing that people do talks or podcasts and they're like, if I did it, you can do it. But once again, they're cliches for a reason. And, I've lived a very short life so far. So I have a lot of probably ups and downs, bumps in the road, things to add to my resume, failures, etc. But I think like if there's truly something that you're like passionate about, go for it 100%, try your best. You're obviously going to fail. Failure helps you grow. All the continued cliches are so good that they usually lead to a really positive outcome. Picture things that you want to see in your head and get to them. Make to-do lists, etc. And a question that I have is, what is the best book you've ever read?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a fun
Or
one.
listen to, since you said you like the audiobooks.
Yeah. What is the best book you have read?
Well, out of the 3 books that I've read in the past 2 years, which I have a stack of, it would be either the War of Art that I finished the other day, or Reclaiming the Conversation in the digital. It's like about living in the digital age, and like kids at the dinner table are on their phones, babies have iPads, like nobody talks anymore. So I'm like trying to learn how to talk to people better and like engage and things like that. So yeah, those 2 out of the 3 that I've read in 2 years are pretty good.
Let's go. I love it. I'm gonna send you some books that I think you'll like. Listen, this has been an amazing episode. This has been Hyped Happy Hour, episode 47, with an absolute amazing human being, Vinnie Hager.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Listen, if you guys tuned in, please like, share, subscribe. Just share this with someone that you think will get value. That's really all I care about. I'm just out here just trying to impact people. So listen, I love you guys. I hope you have the best night ever. Thanks again, Vinnie. Peace.
Anytime.